Welcome to this training on how to report unclaimed property for oil and gas companies. The oil and gas industry is one of the largest unclaimed property reporting groups in the state. This video will guide you through the process of evaluating your procedures and practices regarding dormant accounts and unclaimed property reporting in Texas. What is unclaimed property? Unclaimed property is any financial asset or intangible personal property abandoned by the owner for periods ranging from 1 to 15 years. Oil and gas companies might have unclaimed property to report in the form of expense checks, employee wage checks, miscellaneous outstanding checks, and royalty payments. Items reportable as mineral proceeds include, but are not limited to, uncashed royalty checks, abandoned working interests, and overriding royalties. Tangible or real property, such as land or physical assets on the lease, should not be reported as unclaimed property. Businesses that have unclaimed mineral proceeds for longer than 3 years are required to report and remit that property to the state. Businesses should not report property as abandoned if 1. There is documented contact with the owner either by mail, email, or phone. 2. There is owner-generated activity. 3. Or an owner has other active accounts with the business. Businesses are required to file a report on or before July 1 of every year for property presumed abandoned. The property type determines the length of the abandonment period. For example, the MI02 property type, royalties, is considered abandoned after 3 years of inactivity, while the MS01 property type, wages, payroll, or salary, is considered abandoned after 1 year of inactivity. To determine the abandonment period, start with the last date of documented communication with the owner, the date a check was issued, or the date the funds became payable, whichever is most recent. Submitting an unclaimed property report can be broken down in 5 steps. 1. Determining dormancy. 2. Notifying the property owner. 3. Preparing your report. 4. Submitting your report and payment. 5. Archiving reported data. The first step of reporting is determining dormancy. A dormancy period is the amount of time without owner-initiated contact or activity. You can find a list of abandonment periods by property type on page 33 in the reporting instructions found on our website. The second step is to notify the property owner of each dormant account. Businesses must mail or email a due diligence notice 60 days before the report due date to all owners of unclaimed property valued at more than $250 and that are due to appear in an annual report. The third step is to prepare your report. It must be in the electronic reporting format developed by NAUPA. The vast majority of commercially available reporting software generates files in this format. For reports with 30 properties or less, the manual online reporting system is available at ClaimItTexas.gov and is free to use. Here are a few tips to remember while preparing your report. First, your choice of property codes is crucial because it determines the abandonment period. Second, select property codes specific to your institution. And third, include all available information for the owner of the funds, even if the information is partial. Use the standard property codes MI01 through MI09 the first time you report a missing owner on your annual report. Property code MI10 is used to report continuing productions payments due to the owner after the initial remittance report was filed. You must hold monthly checks and include them in your annual report. Use the last day of remittance from the initial report as the last contact date when reporting subsequent payment as MI10. Due diligence is not required at this stage. For all other properties besides mineral proceeds, businesses will likely use miscellaneous or MS codes. Property type codes MS01 through MS16 are used to report any other property due to owners. These could be internal payments, such as paychecks or vendor checks, or any other payments not associated with proceeds from mineral interests. The amount reported is the amount due when the funds became abandoned. Texas is considered a current pay state. This requires businesses to remit the total balance being held for the owner the first time they report an owner's mineral interests as abandoned. In other words, all current payments are remitted for an owner as unclaimed property regardless of whether or not all payments have met the 3-year abandonment period. In subsequent reporting years, the business must remit mineral interests under the MI-10 property type for the previously reported owners in their annual report and is not required to perform due diligence for the previously reported owners. Those payments are remitted until the business reestablishes contact with the owner. Holders of mineral proceeds are required by the Texas Property Code to provide all available information relating to the owner. This should include an owner's full name, social security number, last known address, and account numbers. If you do not know the owner's name, enter unknown in the name field. When reporting mineral interests derived from a Texas lease or well, you are statutorily required to include the name of the lease, property, or well, any identification number, and the county in which the lease, property, or well is located. Let's look at the current pay by state example. Ann Johns is the owner of the royalty account. She has not cashed royalty checks since May 6, 2021. However, royalties are still accruing. The mineral well is located in Lubbock County. Before starting a report, you need to determine if the property is reportable. Last contact date should be used as a determining factor. In this case, the last communication with the owner was on May 6, 2021. These funds have a 3-year abandonment period and are due to be reported to Texas Unclaimed Property on or before July 1, 2025. Now, since this is the first time this owner will be reported to the state by your oil and gas company, the total net amount you are holding for the owner should be reported. For wells and leases located in Texas, you are required to provide the name and number of the lease or well and the name of the Texas county where the well is located. Let's look at an example of a continuing production payment. Ann Johns' mineral production payments were reported to Texas Unclaimed Property on June 1, 2024. Since then, the continuing monthly payments have been in a suspense account. These funds must be reported using property code MI-10 every year. The last contact date should be entered as the date of the last report, in this case, June 1, 2024. The fourth step is to submit your report and payment. Businesses must submit all unclaimed property reports electronically on our website, ClaimItTexas.gov. From the homepage, click Reporting Property and then Submitting a Report. Choose Upload a Report if you used commercial software to prepare your report. Choose Enter a Manual Report if you're using our manual online reporting tool. After submitting your report, you will see the Holder Summary Confirmation page. Within 24 to 48 hours, you will receive a confirmation email with payment instructions. Next, it's time to make a payment. Payments are due July 1. We accept payment electronically or by check. Submit only one payment per report. To submit an electronic payment, use the Texas Comptroller's electronic payment system, TexNet. If you're submitting a payment by check, the envelope must be postmarked on or before July 1. The fifth and final step is archiving the information included in your report. After reporting unclaimed property, the Property Code Chapter 74, Section 103 requires that holders retain unclaimed property records for 10 years. You may need to reference this data if our office contacts you for additional owner information necessary to fulfill a claim or as part of an audit of your unclaimed property records. With this knowledge, you're ready to submit your report and payment and archive the data. Please contact Holder Education and Reporting section of Texas Unclaimed Property if you have any questions. We are here to assist you. Still have questions about reporting unclaimed property in Texas? Call us at 512-936-6246, option 2, or email us at up.holder@cpa.texas.gov.